Ashmere did not feel the same after that night. Elena noticed it before she could explain it. The streets were still narrow. The buildings still leaned into one another like tired witnesses. But something in the air had shifted. Not danger exactly, but attention. As if the city had learned how to look. She left her apartment before dawn. The folder of copied records rested against her ribs. Heavier than paper had any right to be. The archive stamps were still visible on the corners. Faded blue circles marking ownership that no longer meant very much to her. She had taken them without permission. Not because she wanted to steal, because someone else already had. The first sign was small. A black mark scratched into the stone beside her doorway. Not paint, not dirt, ash. She knelt and brushed it with her fingers. It smudged too easily. Someone had burned something here. Elena stood quickly and locked the door behind her. The street below was empty. Too empty. Usually there was at least the sound of carts, voices, radios humming through open windows. Now there was only fog slipping low along the pavement like breath held too long. She walked anyway. The cathedral waited at the far edge of the old quarter, patient as always. But she did not go straight there, not yet. The archive building rose at the center of Ashmere like a collapsed promise. Tall glass windows stared blankly over the square, their reflections dull in the pale morning. Inside, the main hall smelled of dust and old glue. Back already? The voice startled her. Marta, the night clerk, thin, silver-haired, always wrapped in layered scarves, no matter the weather. Elena forced a smile. I forgot something. Marta watched her far too closely. You forget things more often lately. Elena moved toward the desk where she had been working the previous evening. Her notes were exactly where she left them. That was wrong. The archive never left unattended materials on public tables. Someone had put them back, carefully, as if she would need them again. Did anyone ask about the cathedral records? Elena asked lightly. Marta did not answer immediately. Instead, she slid a thin brown envelope across the counter. No return address, she said. It was already open. Inside was a single photograph. The cathedral gate. Wide, open, taken from across the square. The timestamp in the corner read, 2:17 a.m. Elena felt the room tilt. I didn't tell anyone where I was going, she whispered. Marta's mouth pressed into a thin line. Of course you didn't. Elena looked up. Marta's eyes were not unkind. They were frightened. You should stop asking about Ashmere before it notices you properly, she said. What does that mean? Marta hesitated. Then, very quietly, some cities protect their secrets. Ours protects its arrangements. Elena left the archive shaking. She did not look back. The cathedral was colder than it should have been. Lucian stood near the center aisle, one hand resting against a fractured column. He had felt her approaching long before her footsteps reached the threshold. You're late, he said softly. I was delayed. He turned. The tension in her shoulders was unmistakable. You were followed again, he said. No, she replied. A pause. Not exactly. She crossed the floor toward him and placed the photograph on the broken altar. Lucian studied it without touching. They watched the gate, he said. They wanted proof you exist. Elena swallowed. They already know that. Lucian lifted his gaze slowly. They didn't before. Silence gathered between them. Lucian, who were those men last night? His jaw tightened. Not hunters. Then what? He did not answer immediately. Instead, he asked something else. How much do you trust your archive? She hesitated. I don't think I do anymore. A flicker of something dark crossed his expression.
Good.
He stepped closer to the altar. They are called arrangers. The word sounded wrong in the open space. They don't kill problems, he continued. They move them. Elena frowned. People, lives, he corrected quietly. She stared at him. You mean? They trade access, protection, silence, territory, identities. Her breath caught. Like a market. Lucia nodded once. And Ashmere is valuable. Why? His eyes lifted toward the shattered roof. Because of what is buried underneath it. The words dropped heavily. What is buried under this city? Elena asked. Lucian did not look at her. Me. The silence that followed felt dangerously fragile. You are not serious. I am. Elena took a step back without meaning to. You're saying the entire city was built to contain what remained of my kind? Her pulse roared in her ears. Not prisons, he added. Graves. She shook her head slowly. This doesn't make sense. You're alive. For now. The way he said it chilled her more than any threat. Why are you telling me this? Lucian finally met her eyes. Because they have realized you matter. Her mouth went dry. To who? She whispered. To me. The honesty in his voice left no room to breathe. The sound came faintly through the cathedral walls. Engines. Low. Controlled. Too many for a single car. Lucian turned sharply toward the main doors. Elena heard it now. Movement. Not hurried. Organized. They're not hiding anymore, she said. Lucian closed his eyes briefly. They won't come inside. How can you be sure? He opened them. Because they don't want to damage what they plan to sell. Her stomach dropped. What are they selling? Lucian's voice was barely audible. Time? The cathedral doors did not open, but shadows slid beneath them. Long, then, patient. Elena's fingers curled around the edge of the altar. What do we do? She whispered. Lucian did not answer immediately. He stepped closer, not touching, just close enough that the air between them tightened. You stop coming here, he said. The words struck harder than she expected. No. You disappear. Lucian. You let me become a rumor again. Her chest hurt. You said they notice me because I matter. He closed his eyes once more. Yes. Then hiding won't undo that. He looked at her like he had already lost the argument. You are not built for this world, he said quietly. And you are. A faint, broken smile touched his mouth. No. The engines cut. Silence pressed against the cathedral walls. Not absence. Waiting? Lucian straightened. They won't take you today. Elena's breath trembled. Why? Because they still think you belong to yourself. He turned toward the shadows. They won't make that mistake twice. That night Ashmere did not sleep. Neither did Elena. From her window, she watched a black vehicle idle at the corner of her street. No headlights. No movement. Just presence. She closed the curtains slowly. On her desk lay the copied records. At the bottom of the final page, beneath a seal half erased by time, she noticed a line she had missed before. The containment agreement remains, valid only while the witness remains uninvolved. Elena read it twice, then a third time. Her phone vibrated softly. A message from an unknown number. Only 3 words. You were never uninvolved. If you like this story, please subscribe my channel.